Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on 207. Hope you had a good weekend. I'm Samantha York.
And I'm Rob Caldwell. Coming up on this Monday, is it a play or is it a jazzercise class? Actually, it's both, and it's coming soon to a stage here in Maine.
And later this half hour, 71 dishes in Portland and beyond that are on the new must-eat list compiled by the daily email Eat, Drink, Luckey. But first tonight, ever since he arrived in Maine, Peter Ralston has been taking memorable photographs here. You may or may not be familiar with his name, but chances are good you have seen his pictures.
There's quite a story behind his body of work, a story of breaks, both good and bad, of talent, and perhaps most of all, a story of a deep and abiding love of Maine. In the 1960s and 70s, the most famous living artist in America might have been Andrew Wyeth. To Peter Ralston, growing up in Chaddsford, Pennsylvania, he was just Andy, his next-door neighbor and close friend. One evening, at a dinner with Andy and his wife Betsy, Ralston received what was not so much an invitation as a command.
She said verbatim, "It's time. You're coming to spend the summer with us in Maine." And that was that. And I did.
You write that you knew, even then, that you were going to spend the rest of your life in this place.
Day 4. I was here 4 days and driving around with Andy in the Jeep, meeting people that I'd seen in paintings and seeing places. And yeah, day 4, I knew this was it.
At the time, Peter Ralston was traveling the world, working as a photojournalist. Andrew and Betsy Wyeth were watching what he did.
They basically saw that as me being like a flat rock skipping across a pond, far, fast, but never deep. And they brought me here to basically slow me down and to really gear me down. And it took.
As soon as you arrived in Maine, did you start going out and shooting?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always have a camera. I mean, that's like breathing.
Along the way, Betsy Wyeth bought 3 islands in Maine, including this one, Allen Island, which at the time was wild, overgrown, and abandoned year-round community. She turned to Peter Ralston and said,
"You got me into this. What the hell am I going to do with an island the size of Monhegan? Tell you what, you help me with this and the island, and we'll have a lot of fun. It'll be an adventure, and the island will be yours in all but title."
On the island, they cleared land and built a small working village that fishermen used as a base. And it opened the door to another project. In 1983, Ralston and his friend Philip Conkling founded the nonprofit Island Institute, dedicated to strengthening and preserving Maine's 15 remaining year-round island communities.
Here we are, 2 guys from away. And we're going to come in and tell Maine Islanders, hey, we're here to help you? Yeah, maybe not.
But the people from the Island Institute listened to the Islanders, and the Institute's work has been going on now for 4 decades. And Peter?
There's a shot right there.
Peter was shooting, always shooting, producing photographs that sold well and brought him acclaim.
I was in full discovery mode, and I was loving it. And since I was little, really, photography has been like breathing, so it was just a no-brainer.
Life was good, and then in 1997, you had a cerebral hemorrhage, you're undergoing surgery and had a stroke during surgery. Then doctors...
That's the time to have a stroke, when the top of your head's off.
Then doctors discovered a tumor that you had. All of that, boom, 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 boom. What was it the doctors said to you?
They had never seen these 2 conditions present themselves together except during autopsies.
For the next 6 years, as he recovered, Peter Ralston never picked up a camera. Then, without asking, some friends bought him the finest camera and photographic gear on the market and issued an order.
Now get your ass back on the horse. And how do you... they bought me the equipment, but it was really a gift of... I still get emotional. That was encouragement and faith and love.
His new book, Going Deep, collects his best work from the last 20 years. Many of those pictures hang on the wall of his gallery in Rockport, including the image for which he is best known, of freshly shorn sheep being taken off an island, a photo he shot from another boat.
I almost went overboard. I was hanging off the bow, which is stupid. Almost went overboard. I got the one frame, and go figure, it goes on to become well known.
Well known? Actually, a few years ago, Down East Magazine named it the most iconic photo ever taken in Maine. Did you have any idea when you were shooting that you had captured something that was out of the ordinary, truly out of the ordinary?
No, not at all.
Peter Ralston's aim in photography is not to take pretty pictures. It is to find a truth, and often to reveal the extraordinary sense of community on Maine islands.
No matter what political sign your neighbor's got or this or that, all that stuff, I mean, it exists, obviously. But if somebody's kid is sick, if somebody's truck is broke down, or boat, whatever, everybody is there for you.
The title of the book is Going Deep. It was Andrew Wyeth who said to you, I think his quote that you mentioned in the book was, "Go deep, do what you love most and know best."
Yeah.
Where do you want to continue to go deep in the years ahead?
Right here. Right here. I don't have to go anywhere else. I used to love travel. If I go north of Camden or south of Rockland, I mean, with the exception of the peninsula, St. George Peninsula, that's news.
So what's next? He's got ideas, some he's not ready to talk about yet, but they'll keep him here.
I've had so much fun, so much challenge and adventure and doing all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But underneath it all, it's the people.
The islands, and especially the people who make up the island communities. They are, Peter Ralston truly believes, nothing less than a national treasure.
Oh, man. Those photographs and the way he speaks about what he does. I love when he said, I always have a camera in my hand. That's like breathing.
Yeah, his passion for what he does runs so deep. Again, the name of Peter Ralston's new book, which has stories as well as photos, is Going Deep. We've got more information on Peter, the book, and his gallery in Rockport in the 207 section of our New Center Maine app and website.
When we come back to 207, the play with an exercise class inside.
One of the things we try to do here on 207 is tell you about things happening in Maine that you might not have known about, and especially tell you about things that are really different. That's what we have here. It's a theatrical production that's happening in Portland, and with us are three of the people who are making it happen. Sarah Kennedy, Catherine Kellogg, Joanna Clark, all from Out There Theater Company. Thanks for coming in. It's good to have you guys here.
Thank you.
So you are putting on a work that is called The Last Class, a jazzercise play. Joanna, I thought jazzercise had died about 20 or 25 or 30 years ago. It's still alive?
Surprisingly, it very much is. There are active classes even happening in this area alone. We've heard from Jazzercise Yarmouth and Jazzercise Gorham, so very much still happening.
All right, let's talk about what this is. It is a scripted play,
Yes.
but it is also, Catherine, a jazzercise performance.
Correct. It is a whole exercise class with a play happening during the exercise class. And we even have selected a few participants who will be our class members who will get to experience this live.
When this idea was first brought to you, theatrical performance with a jazzercise performance embedded in it, what did you think?
We just knew it was an instant fit for us to have something that was a little bit out there, a new playwright, and could be done in very fun spaces, and we knew it was an instant hit for us.
This play has been performed in other places. It's been out for a while now, and people might think, oh, this sounds like, a novelty, like a lark, but it actually got really good reviews, right?
It really did. So nothing is nailed down in the script. You just have beats, and then you're working the music, you're working the lines, you're working the movement, all in a puzzle.
How difficult physically is it to do this?
It's mentally, I think, the most challenging, because physically, our bodies are super capable of doing the work, but trying to think of the lines and having to say them while also having to listen to music that has lyrics that are different, it's, doing this and this.
Yeah.
Like trying to do all three things at the same time. So it's a little bit like juggling, but a puzzle is a beautiful way of describing it, and you feel really cool when it all comes together.
You were telling me that you have, as an actor, done Shakespeare, and that this is more challenging.
Oh, yeah. This is the most challenging thing I have ever done of any performance ever.
Yep. And this was very much when I got brought this idea, I knew that Catherine was going to be playing Kelsey Wiggins, this instructor. But I knew that I would have to pick another actor that was just as athletic and just as willing to work. So we are so lucky to have Grace McNeil on this team as well.
McNeil, who's not here, but she's the other of the main performers. And then there are going to be some other people who are, what are they called, sort of participants who will take part, be part of it?
Yes, we actually outreach to a bunch of our theater community members and also a bunch of workout places. So there's going to be about 2 participants every show that is going to be taking the class for the very first time. They will not know any prior beforehand the moves and such. And so we really get to immerse ourselves in what this feels like a real-time exercise class for them.
So I think people have got an idea of what this is like. But what do you hope people get out of this?
I have never seen a play and an exercise class at the same time. So that's exciting. And also, the story is about a woman that is going through kind of the stages of grief of ending this class that she's been teaching for 7 years. But by the end of it, it's very hopeful. It's a hopeful story.
I think you have a legitimate first here with a theatrical production and a jazzercise performance, as we said, that is part of it. All right, we got to leave it there. We're out of time.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming in. Really appreciate you being here. Again, it's Out There Theater Company presenting the last class, a jazzercise play at Space Gallery. It runs from August 21st through August 30th. You'll find more information in the link in our 207 section of the website or app. Stick around. We'll be back in a moment. Eat, Drink, Lucky is a daily email that keeps track of fun things to eat, drink, and do in Portland and beyond. It is out with its annual must-eat list. It features 71 dishes from pasta to pastries, seafood to sushi. And with us here on 207 are 2 of the restaurateurs who are on that list. David Turin from David's Restaurant, and Josh Sobel from Ramona's and Benny's. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you guys here.
Thank you.
You've been around the block a few times with this, and you have seen the restaurant scene change in Portland. Are you just continually amazed at what a vibrant, dynamic restaurant scene this city has?
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. And people come here like, where should we eat? And I'm like, I have no idea. You're going to be here for 2 days. Where you don't have enough time. Yeah.
Do you have sort of the same response when people say, well, we liked your place, but where else should we go? And you kind of say, well, there are 100 places I could send you.
Yeah, I never know where to tell people to go. I hardly get out much, so my choices are limited. And then there's just so many places that's like,
you can't keep up.
I don't even know how to. Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
You can't keep up with it. No, I think everyone would agree with that. Mm-hmm. The neat thing about this list, though, that Eat, Drink, Lucky has put out is that it's got a little different twist, though. It's not saying go to this restaurant. It's saying try this dish, which sort of simplifies things.
Mm-hmm. Thank God. Yes.
Well, let's talk about the dish that was singled out from your restaurant, David, which is
meatloaf. And I would joke with people that I spent 6 kids to college on meatloaf. And it's not really far from true. But yeah, that dish, I put it on my menu in about 2000. And for a couple summers, we took it off the menu, and we actually got handwritten hate mail then, like, where's my meatloaf? And now, if we take it off, then we get emails. So, yeah. And we used to say it was almost famous, and now, because of Eat, Drink, Lucky, I'm going to change it. It's finally famous. There we go.
It's so funny to me because you run a really nice restaurant. You're not just running an old New
I know.
England
Meatloaf? Really? Come on. I know.
Meatloaf, but what is it? What is it that makes people want to order meatloaf in a high-end restaurant?
Well, I will say it's pretty good meatloaf. I mean, honestly, and it's so funny story. A pretty well-known person in Portland is in the grocery store in South Portland, and I run into her, and we're just chatting. Oh, what are you making for dinner? What are you buying? And she says, oh, I'm going to make meatloaf. I'd like to make yours. And I said, well, you want the recipe? And I texted to her, and she looks at the recipe. She says, oh my God, no, I'm not making that. So, it's on our website, actually. The menu's out, the recipe's on our website. But I don't know. It's good meatloaf. That's why people keep eating it.
There you go. Yeah. Josh, you've got two restaurants, Ramona's and Benny's. From Ramona's, the dish that is on the must-eat list is what?
The roast pork sandwich.
Roast pork sandwich. Yeah. What makes it special?
I think roast pork sandwich is pretty unique for Philly. I think a lot of people equate Philly with cheesesteaks, but locals know the roast pork sandwich is the sandwich of the city.
Right.
So it's a slow roast pork shoulder. There's a lot of garlic. There's a lot of fennel, braised broccoli rabe, and sharp provolone cheese.
And you are not just a guy who's coming in and imitating a dish. You're wearing your Phillies hat.
Yeah.
You used to live in Philly. You grew up in Philly?
Grew up, born and raised. Yeah.
So what is it that makes a Philadelphia roast pork sandwich different from the rest?
Oh, geez. I don't want to say anything bad.
It's not the cheese whiz, right? That's a different one.
No cheese whiz. I think it's just, it's pretty simple. There's only 4 ingredients if you count the bread. So each thing has to be really dialed in just right. There's nothing to hide behind when you do something like that.
Good ingredients, good execution.
Yeah, we try to just, do the best we can every time and make it tasty.
The dish that is singled out from Benny's is linguine and clams. Tell me about that.
That is sort of an homage to a lot of the places I used to go to in South Philadelphia. Also, when we were in New York, South Brooklyn, there's some really great places that do linguine and clams. It's one of my favorite dishes. My wife loves that dish, so it had to be on the menu. And again, we're trying to just keep it really simple, execute it really well. We're in Maine, so we have access to the best seafood possible. So yeah, it's really just...
our clams are good. Our clams are really good.
They really are.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what when we talk to chefs and restaurateurs all the time, is they say that, the things you can get in Maine, especially in summertime when you've got so much great produce, that it's about as good as you will find anywhere in the country. Right?
Yeah, it's the best.
I think so. I mean, think about our oysters. Oh my Lord. They invented cocktail sauce in another part of the country because their oysters don't taste good. Just saying that.
I love that sentiment. I don't know if that's true, but I love what you're saying there.
I don't know if it's true either, but I'm going to just go with it.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So we're going to go with it. David Turin, Josh Sobel, thank you both so much.
You.
We
Thanks
appreciate
a lot, Rob.
you being
Good
here.
to be here.
Again, it's the must-eat list from Eat, Drink, Luckey. If you'd like more information on it, just head to our website. You'll find a link there. And stick around. We're going to be back with more of 207 right after this.
Coming up tomorrow on 207, a book that takes a look at consent, infidelity, divorce, sex change, and more. And these are not things being done by humans.
The book is called Poking the Squid, What We Can Learn from Animal Sex. Perrin Ireland wrote and illustrated the book and knew from the beginning that it had to be rigorously accurate with regard to the science, but she also wanted to tell stories about animal sex in a way that readers would find entertaining.
And what I wanted to do was invite people in this highly relatable way and say, come on in, the water's warm. We get to have a giggle while we roll up our sleeves and think about how we want to help protect these animals. And I wanted to make sure people felt as comfortable as possible, to keep it light and loose and playful, because it is funny and it is silly and they are bawdy and outrageous. And it's also serious business.
The Wild and Amazing Sex Lives of Animals. That's tomorrow on 207. And yes, you know you want to watch.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
See you back here tomorrow.